a lot of these things, I would say, because it's like, what can I say? It's like wanting all the greatest things in the world, and you want to take the good trips, you want to take family vacations, you wanna, you want to have a nice house, you want to all the things that let's just call them material things for now. But in order to have any of that, you need money.
Before you want that, you gotta give money first. Yeah.
So yeah, no, listen. Lwaistar's in the building with us. So welcome, my brother. Thank you for joining us. You guys reached out, and it's always good to get a glimpse into the future. Yeah. See what's coming up. See what's happening. Yeah. What's the deal, man? Like, why did you pick music? Let's start there.
It started. Sure. My mom was a really, really big fan of music.
Okay.
So she was the type of person to listen to everything.
All right. So there's a big music collection in him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it went down to my big brother, my big sister, and then to me.
Okay.
We used to teach each other how to dance, how to perform.
So weekends were lit, Numos.
Yeah. Friday, especially Friday. Back in the day.
Sure. What was that
band.
called? With the music.
We used to play it after our generation.
Yeah. What was it? Was it Live M? No. It was before Live M. There was a. It became Live M.
It used to be one.
Yes.
Channel O, I think, was part of.
Sure. And they were lit. It was lit. And there were live performances.
Y'all had a dish at the time.
Huh?
Yeah.
Y'all had DSTV at the time. Hectic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look, it's labels. It's labels. Ntwana yam. Labels.
You always have that situation where you can't wait for the weekend so that you don't sleep.
Sure.
So we had to have cable, like, for
Cartoon
Network. At the time, Boomerang, I think, was still there at the time, and then, Channel O.
Yeah, your childhood was lit.
Alright, Jonga. I remember, I think Mnet as in Mnet, and this is before DSTV. Mnet came out, I forget the exact year, but Tina Decode, and number Saifumana Pa, 1994.
No way.
I got it like 2000, yeah.
No way. Wait, you were around then? Hectic.
Shame, you're such a 2K dog. Like you're such a You're such a 2K, baby. You're such a 2K. Like, it's not even funny. Not too long ago, we were talking about how long there's this woman, Ukopano or something, who's an MP for the Democratic Alliance, and she just left the DA, and she had joined the DA in 2003. So baby's like, but that's the year I was born. I was like, drops mic, walks away.
You're not supposed to be doing that.
I was in grade 3 2000.
Okay, you're not dinosaurs. It's okay. You can admit it. You're not dinosaurs. It's fine.
Dude.
It's fine.
Nah, yeah.
I was 5 years out of high school.
In 2003. Dang. I'm speaking to a legend right here. I always keep on reminding myself of how you and Ubura Yakim are so much of legends. We literally look up to you guys.
Ah man, listen, we're from that era, Galogo. We're from that era where we grew up with a lot of influential people. Like everybody, even in your neighborhood, had a role to play. In your upbringing, like everybody was a G. Like everybody was a G. They were levels. But even I think this is also maybe before kubekho lento yamapara, like even if you didn't have money, like if you had
there was a certain way.
There's a certain and wawungaphakwa nangubani na. Nah, dog. Like you can't be walking around the hood, Bambi. That's not gonna happen. Like the hood will turn on you quick.
Not now.
It was really easy to find someone emotionally back.
Oh, listen, and if something gets lost, you might find it on the other side of town. But it was like for money, you say your food, because somebody be like, nah, I saw that jersey. That jersey didn't look baby and the money no. Today your next door neighbor can take it and deny flat out, and they can wear it in front of you.
Be like, I bought this, bruv. I bought
They'll be like, dog, you've never seen me wear it.
Basically,
Like if- Whoa. Okanye wonke umuntu une para capabilities.
Tendencies.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Because you always want something that someone has. Like, you know, that naturally you get like that. So it's either you buy it,
But you want it now.
you get so.
And the person who has it maybe waited a year or two putting money away to get that thing. When you want it now, and we funa pakui. So maybe that's the culture that went wrong. That we don't push hard enough for the things that we want to get them ourselves or legit.
I feel like it's the inspiration, because back then if I see my big brother wearing, you know,
You got to have it.
got to
Dog.
have so I had to make it, you know what I mean?
You gotta
I used
save.
to-
You
I
gotta
used to
save up. You
walk
gotta
home
set.
from school
Yeah, to
so
put
that I
that.
can save
put that
taxi
bag
money,
away.
You know what I mean? So right now I think it's just the inspiration. People don't want to work hard to get what they want.
And you know, the cost of living is high, number one, but also, you know, the standard of luxury goods is really up there now.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like
It's insane.
we've got G wagons in the hood now. You know, I'm talking about 4 or 5 million rand cars that are driving around, and I'm not saying the hood shouldn't have. I'm saying that's the level that even in the hood we so.
Things were simple then.
Yeah, even if there were people with a serious bag, like the thing they could use to kind of show that kind of opulence and wealth were not the same as the things that are there now. Now it's all about, like, you know, the visual side of things. Before, if you had the bag, we could tell by your driveway. You know what I mean? Can tell by your crib, can tell by your furniture. Like, yeah, you know.
This guy.
It's humble, but it's a flex.
Yeah.
You know? These days you might have a bachelor flat and drive a G-Wagon, because it's all about
Yep.
perceptions. But
Yep.
and by the way, if you drive a G-Wagon, I'm not, you know, it's not
It's okay, man. But at least you own the car.
yeah, man. So so your family was
Yeah.
big into entertainment.
Biggest influence in music with my family.
Hectic.
My first laptop, basically, I got it from my mom's, and then the first program that I had was Virtual DJ and Fruity Loops.
Nice.
But I didn't fall in love with Fruity Loops first. I fell in love with Virtual DJ.
Sure.
I was in grade 8, going to grade 9.
Sure.
So from grade 9 to grade 12.
Were you
I was-
recording your sets as well?
I was
making
DJing.
mixtapes.
Yeah, I
Making
was-
mixtape
I
for
was
the
a-
honeys.
I feel like in high school I had a problem of confidence, because, you know, growing up in a black community, people would be like, hey, my nigga, hey.
Sure. Hey,
So
Kosiam.
I had to keep that.
Cheese boy.
Yeah, I had to keep that with me.
Cheese
Like,
boy.
I had to keep that love with
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I want to be a rapper. but I
Hey,
don't-
now, boy, yo, my
Yeah.
man,
My
come
nigga,
on.
But to me,
Kosiam.
I didn't have that insecurity. You're about, hey, do any put a type of-
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
See if I need to go back, I'm gonna know. Also, evil.
Also evil when
Because
kind
when
of
down
my
another
nigga,
way,
man.
yeah, another way,
Or stack power.
Yeah, so I
Sure.
had to wait for a moment to come out as a musician.
Right.
So, I just kept on with the DJ.
Sure.
So I was DJing in parties and clubs while in high school. I
Right.
used to come back home at like 4 a.m. in the morning. I
Nice.
had to always call my mom, like, I'm who late.
That's dope though. That's
She
dope
is
because that
next
means that
door.
she was supportive. It's not like you were sneaking out the
Yeah,
house. Like
I
she
know.
knew you were up to it. You know.
I think she knew where it was going.
Sure.
Yeah. So
And
because
all-
she always put pressure on me on like, you always.
I guess also because she knows you.
Yeah.
Like I was ungamazi umntana wakho.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
tendencies and but hello. I you know I'm not gonna push him in a direction he doesn't want to go. Clearly.
It's hard for them to do. It's
It's-
hard for them
it's-
to not do that because she kind of did, but it was a
Look,
situation where I'm 30.
look,
So
look.
if I'm 30,
Look, she'll do
then
it.
goes out 10, but if you're not gonna do music, then at least go to university. and study.
She'll do
something.
it.
You know, do
Do
something.
something.
She'll say those things because at some point as umzali you do have to. at least get it out your system to apply a bit of pressure and see if the child won't crack. Come on. But in reality, it's all about looking out for you, you know. And then you said you started by DJing, and then when you started making beats and playing around with Fruity, what was happening there?
It was usually in my room. So up until a point, I got to varsity.
Sure.
That's when I got.
Where did you study?
In NMU.
Okay.
I studied business science in NMU, and then I studied sound engineering in Damnet.
Nice.
I heard sciences and I was like, nigga smart.
Like basically
I
everything
heard
that has to
sciences
do with
and I was like,
business.
this nigga is smart.
But another thing, I feel like it was a fancy way of calling it business studies because we studied everything that has to do with business.
Yeah.
And then the science was the maths, you know, other stuff. Man.
Also, it sounds far more fancy than it really is.
Because you're just like science.
So yes, I'm a bachelor of business science. Look, I understand the
Even your mom was
technicalities.
convinced, but, I'm
I'm well versed in the technicalities of business.
Yeah.
The strategic formula.
It was a real fancy way of actually, because if I say that in the room, they're like, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I usually say sound engineering, because that's the one that I really wanted to study.
So, varsity, surely that's where you met up with a lot of different rappers as well.
Yeah.
From all over the place, different hoods, different suburbs, different places. Queenstown, and you get and then you get to know regionally what the different rap sounds are like, because Amachita will surprise you there. And then if there's a cipher, you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
I realized because in King they used to be like, yo, because I used to freestyle.
Sure.
So like, yo, he dope.
Sure.
So when I got to PE, I think I was introduced to pressure because I didn't know it, because I didn't know anyone that did what I did.
And those boys will pile it on, eh?
Yo,
because
those boys were ahead of my time, because I used to listen to their tracks and I'm like, wow.
Like, what?
How do you do this?
And how did I just get here?
How do you structure a song? Because you know there's a lot going into a song. Like, how do you structure a song?
Sure.
Like, how do you know? Because I met Isaac, I met Kane.
Oh,
First time I was
man.
introduced to writing
Sure.
was M2 Kane.
Sure.
First time I got introduced to the whole dynamics of making a song, Isaac goes in.
Wow.
Isaac goes in and Easy to Dawn were the guys that
Sure.
showed me, wow, okay, this is how a song.
So they like that studio etiquette and basically
Those
structuring.
guys were professional.
And those guys have always been dope. Yeah. So besides just dope, like on a personal level, technically as well, they've always been really good. So I mean, that was a good look to learn from people like that.
Because I was in the midst of, I feel blessed to know these guys, because Kane started in 2008.
Yeah.
With releasing music. And
Yeah.
Also,
but had been
Isaac
freestyling
Wilson,
forever. Yeah.
Isaac Wilson was the same thing with beats and everything. So I was like, I'm learning from this guy. I'm literally a student. So because I don't like writing too much, you know, so I have to love.
So was that the real education you got at NMU?
In terms of yes, in terms of music, I got it from those cats. Because when I met Kane was not a freestyle. He was like, I don't do that. You know,
sure.
Me, I'm all about writing. So he used to freestyle what he already written. And
sure.
then when we met, it was like an exchange of
and then he started flipping.
Like, because for me, it was like a situation where I only rap about what I want to talk about.
Right.
So I don't have to think too much about it. You know what I mean? And
love it.
Like, well, you can really put that in a song, and then when you put that in writing, it goes deeper, because you're going to think about your thoughts while doing what you would do.
I like that.
And so I was like, all right.
And
I'm a stubborn guy.
Sure.
So
you kind of have to. I've noticed that anybody who can really freestyle, like off the top of their heads, has to be a stubborn person, because you're fighting yourself.
Yeah.
Every time you don't even know what you're gonna say next, and even when you try to plan it, you're like, nah, stop thinking. So you have to fight your own.
The biggest problem was saying something that you don't want to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to say.
Like nah.
I'm like, But even if you say it, who is gonna put that
Who's
against
gonna-
you? Because it's a situation where.
But you don't want to, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Ah, man, listen, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear this. It reminds me of the story of pretty much, everybody who's discovered themselves over time to be what they really want to be, and it's dope. Why hip hop?
For me, I think it was poetry.
Ah, yes, that was my link too.
Yeah.
That was my
I think
link.
it was poetry because I used to write love letters in primary school.
Oh, you were a problem.
Yeah.
Ah,
I used
you
to
were.
get rejected.
You're the,
I wasn't really, the type to.
Dog, these
I used to accept
these people
rejection.
don't know what they want. Listen, I used to write the dopest love poems, dog, and
That's
get
the
dissed
thing. Oh,
and get
yeah.
dissed, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like who
That
was,
was me.
like
It
who would
was
say
very
that to you? Who would ever say
And
that
it
to
was
you?
used to be short. It was like short cards, what I mean?
dog.
For Valentine's Day, for disco nights.
My man, we used
you know?
to wild out. We used to even spray it with the brute funding, so that when you open the envelope, dog, and Old Spice,
Yeah.
dog. When you open the envelope, it's like, poof,
Damn,
and then
that's genius though. Because me, I used to write it in class and then just fold it up and give it to a girl, and I used to get rejected. I never
dog.
got a yes.
I think for them it was too much pressure.
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm gonna say this: you guys might mature faster than us, but you guys used to reject us because you were scared.
Hey.
When you were shook,
Hey.
you were shook. When I laid it all out there, you're like, ooh, no.
What's going on? Other girl.
The easiest thing to do was diss you.
Send me a reply. Is like, I'm not sure. I was like,
What do you mean?
in my head,
That's
I was like,
not an
what do you mean?
answer.
And I'm like, and the guy next to me is like, finish. This is a finishing. I'm like, give me your finishing thing. It's like, I don't know what to say. You should finish. Because she didn't say no. And I'm like, let me just
Well,
leave it be.
well, the homie wasn't wrong.
Yeah,
The homie wasn't wrong.
Hey, it might be. Hey, that situation you plead. You don't want to be that guy. Because Uplita back then was an easy thing with money.
Yeah.
Get to a point.
Okanye intercept xa ithunyiwe umkhaphe
Yes.
hayi
Yeah,
those are the
so
best.
It was very.
West xa ithunywe kude ndiyapatsa ke ngoku you've got all the time in the world.
I have to know where they stay now. So grab your check.
Kaloku nje uzigqithisa
Linde shop.
jonga ulinde phaa kulaa shop awusazulisi kangaka uthi ichephi isimane uluma ikona yayo.
Yo, putting on those smoker Yeah.
11 minutes
Hey.
before 11, man. I'm in studio with Lwaistar. He's in here with us telling us his history, his journey, his musical journey, and how he became who he is. Quite again, we share a common link. We both started with this poetry thing. I think that's why I started rapping, because of the rejection. I was like, there's no way that you can really because I know my poetry was slick. Even when I read it, I'm like, ooh. When you impress yourself. So how is this not working? You know what? I need a beat.
That's how it started. That's how it literally started. Because my first song was a love song that I never released. And I had a girlfriend and I was like, should I send it to my girl? Oh, what's going on? And then I sent it to her and she's like, oh, this is dope. You didn't tell me you rap. You didn't tell me you do this. I'm like, this is
This is
first
it.
song. I recorded it with you remember those headphones with the microphone?
Yeah. The call center joints.
I did it with the call center joint. So the mixing was terrible. She's like, I can't hear it properly.
But I can kind of.
There's something here. And then I never stopped after that. I was like, I'm gonna keep on recording and sending her the tracks.
Sure.
Every time I was.
Because she was your reference now.
Yeah, she was my
and
reference.
also she liked your stuff. Because
she didn't. I can bust it. I appreciate that person too. This day.
Shout out to you, sis.
She dated me.
You created a monster.
She dated me from the point where she realized, oh, you do this. To the point where we got out of high school, and then I got to varsity
Sure.
and everything. I still sent her my tracks. My first official song that I released, she was the cover art.
Okay. Is she still around? Because it sounds like it sounds like this is not over.
Nah, it's long.
Ah!
Long. It ended in. You know how varsity gets.
Did it end in tears, though?
Nah, it ended good, but it was a situation where one of us cheated. Not me, but yeah, it was
Bro,
a situation where
he said one of us, not me.
Yeah,
Gee, can't you happy?
Nah, it was. She was in Joburg and I was in
Oh
PE.
man.
So the thing about PE, they have a lot of these songs.
Sure.
You know, Kharimbe and everything. You know? So we know those songs and we know PE for those songs. So I think it was that type of situation.
All right.
So now man,
Cheers. And show about your pela. Oh, hey.
So yeah, that can.
Oh man.
And then the relationship ended, but it didn't end in a very sour note. There was a situation where I understand where you come from.
There was distance. There was everything.
Distance and everything. So it's okay. We could just be friends, or we could just be people that.
Because you don't hate each other.
Yeah.
Because even here I can hear how affectionately you talk about someone who was that involved in your early.
I feel like that's the thing. Going back to what you said in terms of people that you love.
Sure.
You can't really hate someone you love.
No.
Because
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like then did you ever?
You get me.
It
Okay,
did.
so now you're mad at yourself.
Oganye, were you making fools of each other from the start? That's another.
If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. That person didn't belong to you in the first place. Nah, you were married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a situation where the commitment broke.
Sure.
So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a situation where it broke.
And it happens, guys.
It happens. It's
It happens. It
Don't
happens.
be mad at that person.
Don't
Just
be-
be glad you came out of it. As
If you want to be mad at anybody, be mad at yourself.
Yeah.
Too.
Because that's the thing with me. It was like, no one didn't do it.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I started to see faults on like, oh, there's points where I wasn't speaking to her in some nights, and she would bug me. But it says keep up.
Oganye, you deliberately ignore a call, not because you're busy doing something else, but sometimes you're like, it's like uyakuphazamisa.
That used to happen. Legit.
And
I was like, alright, so I played a role in this. So when we got back to our hometown, we spoke about it. And I was like, yeah, no, now that's more like my situation.
I actually see.
Yeah, hence it hasn't been taken now.
And yeah, what do you think Ebezo yenza on the days that you are unavailable? And you go there and trying to get a
and when she told the story, it was literally like you weren't there.
You weren't paying attention.
So someone was there literally while I needed.
Slides in there. Slides in there with a triple decker and a 2 liter. Like,
it's Joburg.
Like,
so,
have you eaten yet?
You know what I mean? So there's a whole city for this person to explore.
Man,
you know
listen.
what I mean? So there is gonna be someone showing her around, you know. And she's the first year, the second year, the third years.
Umne has been there, by the way.
You know.
It's just that he was waiting for the right time. Umne has been a shoulder. He's been an ear. Listen. Umne knows more about you than most people do because they talk,
you know
and it's so
I mean?
innocent.
And I'm a sucker to Umne right now.
Oh!
Just like, yeah, my man, I'll tell you,
Umne ulapha ezithendeni, but he plays his game smooth.
Yeah.
Where Umne strikes is when she's hurt.
Hey.
It's like, friend, let's just go have drinks.
In a very insecure way because I was a first year. So a friend of mine who was my roommate was a second year and he was house calm.
Sure.
So he was like, no man, join the pageant. This nine. Yeah, we're your first year.
Snap. Yeah, sure.
That's where that's whole situation started.
Goodness.
Yeah, that general person was
ngokusahamba ngespeed of
because walks.
Ford. What do you think, Bear? Man, oh goodness. So your first real studio session.
First real studio session.
Like a studio
Like
that
fully
fully equipped studio. one you had to pay for.
We didn't pay for
Okay,
it.
well, not pay necessarily, but one you have to book and in that way make a reservation and go there. Tell us about that experience and walking into a fully equipped spot, like,
Yeah, it was dope.
because as an artist, there's this feeling you get, man,
Yeah,
when you, especially when walking to someone else's studio
yeah,
and it's just kitted out, and you're like,
yeah.
you see
Your
now,
heart melts.
you're like,
You feel so small in that situation.
Sure.
Yeah, because I remember it was here in East London.
Mm.
Because we used to do recordings in our dorms,
Sure.
areas and everything.
Sure.
You know,
Because there's somebody with a flat,
eggshells.
oh yeah, eggshells, a shower that's
A
repurposed
shower,
with
that's
mattresses and airway.
So you know
Fa
what I mean?
airway, fano esponge pa.
Yo!
Ibu pumubilile.
Struggle. Hey, so it was that situation, and then Easy, Mama got Easy. He's also an artist, a creative.
Yeah.
So she had these people from overseas coming through to shoot a documentary.
Sure.
So there's a segment that they had to do about the sun, because the sun now is also a creator.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and the documentary was about her.
Yeah, it was about
Oh,
her.
okay. So obviously it trickles down.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they had to put us in the studio. So we were like, it's a dope time to actually come through and do this documentary, the Ole Gaga Easy, because we were doing the album Yet to Know Easy, the antidote.
Sure.
So we had some songs that we wanted to record. So we were like, alright, let's make these people book a studio for us. Yeah,
So that we're in a proper studio environment,
So we
but
can
we'll
record.
actually record.
Yeah, so they think we just gonna be doing footages for the documentary.
Can't you're actually lacing tracks.
we're putting in the work.
Okay.
So it was at the studio in Berea.
Legend.
Yeah, Easy was living down the street from the
Sure.
from the crib. So we were there. I think I forgot the guy's name, but he's always there. Mustache, Rashkat, Gary.
Gary Jove. Yes. Shout out to Gary, man.
So Gary was there. We recorded one song, Pronto. The whole experience made me record that song one take.
Boom.
Like,
Just the whole vibe, the whole
we
setup,
had
the
1
whole.
hour.
Damn.
Literally 1 hour. We finished shooting in 5 minutes because they were like, nah, we just need you guys to just stand in front of a mic and make as if you record.
Can't you were lacing it.
Let's do this fast so that we can get the time now.
Because we've got an hour, but hey, we don't want to push it close to.
So we did that and then we recorded the whole experience. He taught us about recording etiquette.
Sure.
How you
Technique, how far you must be from the mic.
Mics.
Yeah.
It has to be that situation, and then also when it comes to performing, don't hold the mic.
Don't squeeze out, don't choke it,
Don't
you know,
choke
don't
the
suffocate the mic.
You know how rappers be holding the mic in a very skillful manner.
I learned to bring my own mic to gigs. There's a day where I unscrewed an SM58 and I looked at that sponge on the inside and I was like, never again. The mic is the most filthy, the dirtiest. You just unscrewed and you look on the inside of that sponge. It looks like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, fungus and everything, man.
It's bad. And I realized, but these are the things we put ourselves through without knowing. And sometimes you worry, you're blaming sound quality, you're blaming the sound guy, but the actual mic cannot pick up properly because it's filthy. That sponge is dirty. So I was like, nah, from now on I'm bringing my own joint, you know? Plug it in. If it's cordless, then I'll just give them the receiver on that side. But nah, like I'm not.
You just gave me an idea. You see how you just gave me an idea.
Facts,
'Cause
dog.
what we do, we literally have backing tracks.
Sure.
So we'll leave the ad-libs and the normal volumes and everything like that. But if the sound is really bad, then we just have to record with the original sound.
Right.
But if we see, okay, the sound is okay, we just leave like some parts of the...
You've got an instrumental
there.
version with ad libs. You've got
Yeah.
one with just the chorus.
Yeah.
You know what you know
But
for your
the
setup.
thing- But the thing is, you still hear that the mic is struggling, and you don't even understand.
Bring your own joint, dog.
Yeah.
Bring your own joint. Put your own in-ear monitors in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The monitor situation, that situation.
Hey.
Cause you be like, you trying to back up, you trying to go close to the monitor, you trying to hear what's going on. Yeah, nah, it's not working
Nah,
out.
that's not working out.
It's
Or
not working out.
or there's a monitor that's angled a certain way at the side of the stage, so whenever you go to that side to attend to the crowd, you get feedback.
Oh my god.
You gotta-
I
nah.
like that situation.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah,
I was
nah.
like, nope.
So that was a good experience, and it took you one take because you know you were in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
What did that do for your desire to make music further after that?
I was already in.
Sure.
I was already fully dedicated, but I think it showed me the business side of it.
Okay.
Because
That there's an industry, and we're not talking about what you see on TV.
No,
Like, there is an
yes,
industry. There's a
yes.
lot
The
that's
behind
happening.
the scenes
Yes.
industry, yes, that. So for me, because a friend of mine that was the executive producer for the Antidote was a qualified sound engineer.
Sure.
So he used to always tell us about, yo, this is the life that you want. If you're an artist, you better study something that has to do with music, because when you get to a point, when you get to an age, you're gonna be behind the scenes, and you don't want to be behind the scenes and you don't know about the behind, the business that goes on.
True.
You know what I mean? Because I want to sit in that chair.
True.
You know what I mean? I wanna be behind the camera if I can't sit in the chair.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
So it was all about that, and I saw it there, and I was like, they don't use this studio just to record artists.
No.
It can't be. You get me? So
It's
for
a
me,
post-production setup. It's a mastering setup. There's a lot happening that you don't see,
Yeah.
because when you book a studio, they clear it out for you for that hour, so you don't know what was happening before, and you don't know what's happening after.
when you see.
You find it in a great.
And also, there's like different rooms. You get me? So there's the room where you go to record, but there's also the room where you don't even understand what's going on. And when we asked about the room, no, that's for mastering. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Don't you master there?
It's like, nah.
It's like, nah. You go to the other room.
Like, even the monitors are different.
That's that was to me, that was mind blowing, because I was like, wait, so you trying to tell me the monitors we have are probably for something different? It's like, yeah, possibly, because
Yeah, because they're not for mastering. I tell you, the frequencies in there, you'll never hear that. What are you talking about?
So that's when we actually saw everything. It was
Sure.
like, because we all saw things differently. For me, it was a situation where, okay, I need to be the guy that always host events.
Sure.
Because for me, it's always about the showcasing of an artist. Like, yeah, you could be a dope rapper, you have the old bars and everything, but if you can't move the crowd,
Sure.
that's a serious problem. That's
I'm a big follower of DJ Cleo, like his behind the scenes process, his creative process. One of the dopest things he did that I saw him do, he said, if you want to mix songs for big sound, like outdoor venues, why are you mixing in the studio? Like, he literally takes his setup outside in his courtyard, and that's where he mixes with the sound bouncing off the walls and mixes it there. It's like, that's what's gonna happen when it's playing on these big stages.
Yeah, and the thing about it is the fact that it will help you if you don't understand too much of frequencies.
You're gonna figure it out
You're gonna
there.
figure it out if you're in an open space. Yeah, he's right. That guy's a genius.
So that's what I'm saying.
That guy's a genius.
The
That guy was running the game for 10 years straight.
Listen.
So you can't play around.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. So what are you busy with now, musically?
Right now, musically, I just released a single.
Major. Yeah.
Major is for a project that I'm working on, which is gonna be.
Is it a full-length album? Was it an EP? What is it?
It's a full-length album.
Nice.
That's a mixtape. I want to go back, with that one. So it's a mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
The first mixtape that I ever dropped was Paradise Eventually. Basically, what PE did for me. Paradise Eventually, PE.
PE, right.
So what it did for me, it made me realize that being an artist, has a certain effect on people.
Okay.
So people, it's not the factor of people will treat you differently because you are an artist. It's a factor of you will change lives because of things that you write.
Oh yes,
You get me?
and that's a good outlook actually.
Yeah. So it gave me all of those ideas about you should become an artist because this is what's gonna happen when you become an artist. Don't look at fame and think that you're gonna grab it the first chance you get it.
No.
Because that's just
Also, don't mistake popularity for
for
fame.
fame. Because
It's not the same
it's not
thing.
the same thing. That's and also it's a situation where you don't always have to aim for fame or for being popular. You just gotta aim for what you want people to hear.
I always figure that once you start focusing on what's happening out there, your music takes a knock. Like if you start listening to what people are saying you should make, that's where your music is never gonna move anywhere. Because now the crowd is dictating. That's like a DJ playing a set that he's planned, and people keep, nah, man, put this song on, and he actually changes the music. Nah,
that's
dog.
why I always get pissed. Like,
nah.
You
crazy.
I have a plan. Yeah, you're just messing up my plan. So it's like that for me. I always took pride in that.
Sure.
Because now I will make a song, release it, and then I'll go out to people.
Sure.
You get me? And mingle with people, and people will tell me all sorts of things like their own opinions and everything. I'll be like, okay, sure, yeah.
Cool.
And to them, it will be like, yeah, unvilo, yeah, but
unvilo Lwaistar.
But I didn't really listen because I'm coffee.
But I'm glad you got to air. You got to get it off your chest.
Yeah,
At least one of us feels better.
You know what I mean? At least you air it out. You get me? So at least if it's something that I'm doing in the process, because sometimes they might be right, and I'm like, okay, sure, it's something I'm doing in the process, so you open my eye out for something.
Right.
You get me? So I'm not gonna close myself off, because as an artist, it's very dangerous to close yourself off.
Or to pretend like what you have is perfect.
Yes.
When you know it's good, it's a different story. But I've yet to hear the perfect song.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's as good as to an artist. It's as good as I want it to be for people to hear it. Because why I say I've never heard the perfect song is because I've never written the perfect song either. That's why I keep trying to sharpen my writing up even more, because one day, and I think that day is still coming. Yeah. I'm gonna write a song where I'm like, I have there's nothing I can do. There's nothing else I cannot, or less. There's nothing I can take away from it. There's nothing I can add to it. This is it.
Yeah. I fully relate to what you said. I fully relate
because
to
I'm my
what you're
biggest
saying.
critic, so and if it's not like that, you're gonna have a very sore heart every time people talk honestly about your product. When people are like, dude, this song is dope, but it didn't hit me like it, and you're like, yeah, but like, I'm not gonna always make it. Don't be personal. Listen to what I'm saying, Doug.
It's okay.
Don't get mad though, bro. Like it's not that serious.
Also, I think what artists need to learn is that it's a personal journey writing a song, but once you've released it, it's not your journey anymore. It's someone else's journey. So
that's your song's journey. Now.
Yeah,
that's not you happen to have custodianship of it, but you put it out there, man.
Put it out there. Now let the universe.
You're not gonna let Uvulupshanti and let a bunch of wild horses out and then want to go and blame people about having their cars in the way. No, wherever those horses go, you let them out. But they're yours. If they mess up, you better be ready for it.
Yeah, it's your problem.
We got some comments here. Ukanyiso OG says, shout out to Lwaistar. Ukanyiso, Lwaistar's in the building with us. He says, Awe Obushesiu is saying kings. Yeah, that's what we are.
You know?
That's what we are.
Shout out.
We try, you know.
We love you guys.
Crowns and all of that.
Yeah.
So what's next for Lwaistar?
Right now, I am planning my event. As I said, I love hosting events.
Sure.
I have this event that's coming up in King called the Link Up. Basically, what the Link Up is about, it's showcasing. So I invite artists to perform and also to sell their merch if they want to sell anything or whatever, or they're selling their albums. So the Link Up is basically for that, for artists to link up. And connect with each other.
And I haven't even got a call to come and MC this thing. Can you imagine? Can you imagine people like this? How do you...
Hey, Buddha, I wish I knew you. I wish I knew you like July or like before this month started.
No
because
doubt.
It would be an honor for you to come through.
Sure.
We'd really appreciate it for you to come. So this is me inviting you.
We'll pull up on you. We'll pull up on
your
you.
guys' names on the guest list because
we're gonna pull up on you. We're gonna pull up on you.
That's the link up is for because we don't as artists. My personal experience as an artist was not getting booked. That was like it used to hit me personally.
Also, remember, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
We don't get booked in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
We do not get booked.
Yeah,
this is not as the hip hop artists. We do not get booked in the Eastern Cape. Let's not even lie about it. You guys invite us to your events, but you don't book us.
That is crazy.
You guys invite us, and then when we get there, 1 or 2 drinks later, true. Don't you want to get on? Nah, fam, talk to me like you
invited me
dude.
to the show, bruh. I've
That's
had
that's sneaky, dog.
I'm like, what? He's like, no. If you want to, I'm like, of course I don't want
Like
to.
I've got good mics. Nah, dog. Like you should have told me this before I left the crib.
Yeah, I used to have that problem in PE, and then it went to a situation where like, you know what, I'll not go if I don't know the guy. If I know the guy, I'll go because
and it gets pretty irritating. Or when you walk in and somebody, whoever's the host on the night, will be like, yeah, True's in the building, yeah, shout out. Now.
You know my name now. You don't
Now
know my name.
And I came here trying to actually keep it low and just do the thing that everybody else is doing. Now you've given people expectations.
But I might.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna ask
but you haven't said a thing to me.
You get me? And then people are gonna look at you. The people that are
looking at me all funny like, yo, True.
Are you gonna go on? I mean, you here, so you should. You get me?
Figure quick gig and people start chanting. Yo, is anybody else gonna perform before we shut this down? True, sir. True, sir. I'm like, nah, fam. Talk to your boy.
Yeah.
Talk to your boy.
Because I don't have a problem going on stage, but I'm not just gonna go on stage.
You're not gonna play me like that.
So that to me, that's the situation. So OTE, there's this there's this corporation that we have as artists.
Yeah.
OTE Artistry. It was started by U and 2K.
Yeah.
And then Easy to Dawn, and then it was me and Isaac, Diobs, GS9, GX Easy,
yes.
K-Town. I think that's the people that we have left, and then we have subs in London.
Sure.
So what we do as a conglomerate, we basically support each other.
Nice. Which you should, which is good because it's already pushing unity as a movement, right?
We financially, we looked at it in a financial aspect in terms of, but artists don't usually host their own events.
Yeah.
In 2015, we were like, I was like, I don't wanna be a statistic in terms of the up and coming artist.
Or be boxed.
Or you get me?
Right.
Or just wait for someone to save me.
Hey,
You get me?
hey, that saving comes at the worst price ever.
Because I've had conversations with people trying to save me.
Lifeline.
You ain't saved me though. Like you trying to put me in jail, fam.
Nah, fam.
So so I started when I released Paradise eventually. I was like, let me do an event. Let me just host a show, a launch or whatever it is, so that I can see if people are going to really support. Because I kept on hearing a lot of people like, you can't host a show. I mean, who's going to come? Because this is your first thing. Dude, I will literally knock on everybody's door and tell them that I'm having a show.
And words like can't
I
shouldn't.
I had a lot of people telling me that you can't.
Yeah.
You will fail.
Nah.
But next time you see me, you're gonna see me. You're gonna just see the work. You're not gonna see me face to face. Because I literally give a person one chance to say something to motivate me. If you try to demotivate me, I'm not trying to be in your circle.
And you're not gonna get that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not. Yes, you get me. So the event for me was a situation where I need to show other artists that you can do this too. So when I did it, Ken was like, "We need to do another one."
Where is the event? When is it?
It's gonna be in King. It's gonna be in my own backyard.
Nice.
It's gonna be on the 24th of September.
It's Heritage Day.
Yes, on Heritage Day. It's a heritage special. Basically, we're trying to. It's Heritage Day. We understand. Some people have a different.
Well, this is our heritage. Heritage Day is not just celebrating. It's not just celebrating. You know, uba ungumni, and your. it's also celebrating the things that have generationally come down to you as well.
Your makeup.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
So
Your DNA is your DNA.
we're celebrating hip hop.
Yeah.
Celebrating hip hop. There's a little bit of R&B. There's a little bit of everything, but
I'ma
the main
I'ma
focus
definitely pull up on you.
is hip hop. We have Isaac Wilson. We have RZ coming through from PE Ukaafi. We have local artists from King Williamstown, Sandy, Ori, artists that are working hard.
Yeah,
You
pushing,
know,
pushing.
because they said these kids are selling merch, everything.
I love
they
it.
don't have
I love
sponsors.
it. I love it.
So it's a
So they're gonna have pop-up stalls there as well.
yes.
Fine,
So if
fine,
you're an artist and
fine.
you're listening right now and you're from King or East London,
Holla.
it's free to put up your store. We don't charge people.
Just
to
bring
put
your
up
merch.
Just
Put
bring
it
your
out
merch
there.
and put it out there or contact us. You can follow us on the link up or you follow me, Lwaistar, on all major platforms and hit us up because we really want to work with people.
Right, Lwaistar.
Put it on.
You're gonna have to introduce this song, Major, and then you're gonna have to get out of my studio.
I really don't want to go. Like genuinely. But yeah, this song is called Major. It's my first single. I'm working on an album, my last album. This is my last offering as an album because I want to get into the management phase.
Aha!
So this is called Major. Tonic, shout out Tonic, the one that did the beat. Shout out Stony T, the guy that helped me engineer this one. And shout out Wayne CW Poetry for the cover art. Thank you for having me, Budayam.
Easy.
Easy.
We are extraterrestrial. We are KLR.
It's a movie, big, don't ever forget that we made you believe for real.